In the beginning of my career, I worked for a company that was doing advertising on floppy disks. Now, most people now won't even remember the actual reason why it's called floppy disk, but I was working on the 3.5-inch hard disks, and we were able to get a whopping 3 JPEG images on that hard disk. And we would then put a framework around it, and we could actually do advertising. The little company I was working with was a small startup. We were able to raise it to a substantial company and then sell it. In the beginning, it was just a small group of us that got there. And when I realized what was going on here, we were selling the software and not worrying about how to get it out because it was a floppy disk. You just had it duplicated. Then I realized something more important. And as the business grew, we saw the software, which was one of the best compression softwares in the world, become less and less important, and the distribution becoming more and more. Our company shifted from a software company to a distribution company. And it was expensive. It was a couple of dollars a disk, and then you had to send it out. So you were talking about an investment of several $1,000,000 just to send out some advertising on a 3.5-inch disc. Now, it was a great business at the time. The software was lovely, and we could get that done relatively quickly. The challenge was that we didn't understand the market in the beginning. We were selling the software. Once we understood that the distribution was the important part and the more important way of doing it, we switched almost immediately, giving us a better distribution and actually higher margins. Now, I tell you this because at that point, our distribution was the US mail, and we had to physically create something. Now we are in such a different world, and we take that really for granted. We take for granted the powerful tools that we have to really create and to distribute that information for basically free. Therefore, one of the things that gets me so excited is the ability to deliver this kind of information to you on a platform that someone else is spending their entire life trying to deliver. All these platforms have their positives and negatives, but just think about it. It used to be if you wanted to get your information out, you'd have to go into an expensive studio and create this with multiple people, then send it off on tape to get edited. That edited tape would then be sent back. And then you'd go around to the 5 or 6 terrestrial stations and try and get them to put it on, or go onto cable and try and get the cable company to go on. And that took time and money, and it was very expensive and a huge risk. Now we have this amazing distribution, be able to distribute this in moments, in seconds, to go on things like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, as well as LinkedIn. Give us the ability to communicate with everyone instantaneously. And the technology has gotten so simple that almost anyone can do it. It just surprises me that fewer and fewer people do. They take it for granted and don't understand how important and useful this is to be able to just talk to the world, talk to everyone on a regular basis. And if you're not setting yourself up in that kind of strategy, then you really need to think about how you're actually working in this industry. If you haven't built a powerful online platform, you've effectively opted out of the modern economy. Business without a robust digital presence and the publishing capabilities that are available now create severe disadvantages in the internet era. Each month that you delay intentionally cultivating an audience through content and community erodes and creates higher barriers for you ever gaining traction. Every year that you let the web evolution outpace or increase your inevitable future costs of trying to catch up. While digital laggers are left behind, thriving people in the 21st century build a lucrative and unfair advantage to those that don't use this publishing technique. At the end of the day, those who recognize and capitalize on the internet's ability to shift creation and distribution and audience building capabilities will reap much greater rewards than those that lag behind and are still stuck in the 20th century mentalities. This digital renaissance is tearing down historical barriers, preventing everyday people and niche businesses from reaching their global audiences. What used to require intensive capital and production capabilities and supply chains now can be accomplished on a shoestring budget with an iPhone and an iPad. The gift of frictionless, low-cost, worldwide proliferation is the potential and the opportunity for multiple lifetimes of wealth as well as attention. Yet most are strategically mining it for the exponential value creation. From building deep customer connections through impactful content, to developing high profitable digital products and revenue streams, to wield an unprecedented personal influence through their viral shares and creating community. The internet remains wildly underutilized as an empowerment of the masses. Anyone equipping themselves to be skilled as an online publisher, a community builder, has access to unparalleled upsides in a digitally changing age. But those that neglect this revolutionary and dynamic way are handcuffing themselves to irrelevance as audiences drift elsewhere. You may think that it's too late, that you can't get into this, but a consistent, persistent movement will create a community, and that community will grow over time. It's just a question of you utilizing and getting out of your comfort zone. This podcast is all about getting me out of my comfort zone. Thousands of people I've worked with and talked about, but very seldomly have I gotten on board and gotten into the public eye, because most of my clients don't like that idea, don't want me to be public. They want me to be an individual in the background. And I'm starting now to open that up a little bit, to talk to you on a regular basis, to make sure that we're all getting what we need and answers that we need. So how do you do this? Well, figure out where your audience is. Is it on LinkedIn? Is it on YouTube? Is it on Instagram? Is it on TikTok? Is it on the other platform that's just about to come out that I'm sure everyone's going to be hot about? And you may look and say, man, we're crowded. But the systems reward consistency. If you're consistent over a period of time, it becomes better. It becomes more effective. Then ask yourself, how can I do it fast? How can I utilize what I have? One of the most powerful tools we all have in our pocket is the cell phone, personally the iPhone. A great tool for recording and understanding what's going on. And that's a great place to start. I did a great recording about being embarrassed about your first material. Get out there and do it. You're going to learn so much more by doing it than studying. So get out there and do it and continue to be consistent about it. Then get feedback. Look what they're saying, suggesting. Look what viewers are looking at. Get feedback and continue to adjust. All three of these little things give you the ability to move forward. So what's your first action? Look where your clients are. Look where people are actually looking for influence and start there, because that's going to be a really useful place to start. So what I'd like to ask you to do is tell me where your clients are, what they are looking at, where they're being seen. Because it's an interesting conversation to say, what are they using for influence and how can you be there for them? So in the comments below, tell me where your clients are. Tell me where they're looking and how they're doing. I look forward to talking. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Want to transform your business with expert strategies? Schedule your strategy session today by clicking the link in the description below. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained. See you in the next video.